All right, radio check, radio check. Hope you guys can hear me. Welcome back to the channel. We have got qualifying in Monaco, arguably maybe even more important than the race. There is a lot of action to look forward to. We've had quite the exciting 3 practice sessions this weekend and a whole lot to talk about as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got 186 people. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And yeah, I'll take you through what's happened in the previous 3 practice sessions then. So, FP1, a fairly typical practice session, nothing too exciting. All the drivers slowly just getting used to the Monaco circuit, how close the barriers are, and things like that. But FP2, it was actually forecast that it was going to rain a little bit in FP2. So the teams were eager to get out early and drive around, set their lap times early, but the rain never arrived. And FP2 is the most representative of qualifying in terms of track conditions, temperature, air temperature, track temperature, all of those things. So FP2 is usually when we get the qualifying simulations, and Charles Leclerc came out on top on those qualifying simulations. So yeah, a seriously good job there from Charles Leclerc at his home race, of course, in Monaco. And we'll just wait and see what happens there. But Leclerc has done a very good job so far this weekend. Red Bull have been struggling in terms of the qualifying data that we got from practice. It did say the Ferraris were quicker. Now, that is also what they said last weekend. Now, and then it turned out to be Max Verstappen on pole position. So we'll have to keep our eyes out. But yeah, there's definitely a good chance that Leclerc could do well. Yeah, this is the home Grand Prix of half the grid. Indeed, it is. Tax evasion is a great reason to relocate, isn't it? Yeah. All right. What time is it for you? It is 2:30 here in the UK. Yeah, in Monaco, I think it's 3:30. Not too different, and only a 1 hour difference in time zone. All right, currently up on the screen, there are the FP2 timings, so you can see kind of the representation of where all the drivers were. And as you can see, Max Verstappen down in 4th position, and he was using the hard tyres right at the end of the session, but his fastest lap, of course, was set on the soft tyres, and he was 6 tenths behind Charles Leclerc, so quite the big gap there. But we have seen this time and time again. Red Bull can have a bad Friday, and they can come back and they'll have loads of drivers in the simulator overnight, and they will tweak the setup, modify the setup, and do loads of different things, and they will. And yeah, and then they'll be right back on it on Saturday. So we'll have to keep an eye out really. Hello F1 Gamer, I'm going to be for MIA. I don't know what that means, but for 20ish minutes, got some uni work. Lovely to see you back. I hope you've been well. Indeed, I have. Yeah, it's been quite nice in the UK for the past couple of days, so doing all right. Hope you guys are all right as well. All right. Okie dokes. What else is going on the circuit? So, well, currently nothing going on the circuit. We've just had the F2 race, and there has been so much action going on. It's quite ridiculous, really, how much action was going on. I think there were at least 4 times when there were contact with the wall, and then we had, I think, I was going to say Logan Sargent. It was Oliver Behrman. He had an issue, and then there were a couple more crashes and a red flag as well. So a whole lot of action in F2. But the thing is, in F2, the drivers are a little less experienced, not as on top of their game as they are in Formula 1. And that's usually why we see a lot more mistakes in F2 compared to F1. So now, we'll wait and see how it works out for the Formula 1 drivers. But yeah, the thing that all of the team principals say in Monaco, especially in the qualifying sessions, they're always sort of aiming to build up to build up their pace slowly rather than going full send. Because at most circuits, the drivers can explore the limits. They can go slightly over the limits. They can go wide on the track limits, and then they'll get away with it. Or they'll spin the car around, but they won't hit a barrier. Whereas with Monaco, you can't afford to do that. That's gonna be you out of the session. You're gonna lose a whole, but you're gonna have to get a bunch of replacement parts and things like that. So the drivers have to take a different sort of approach, and they have to slowly build up to it and find the limit, and just go like 1% below the limit to make sure that they're all right for their quali lap. But it's a tough call to make. It must be nice in summer, freezing over here in Melbourne. Went to a party wearing 6 layers. Oh damn. Wow. Yeah, I guess it must be pretty cold then. Whom are you supporting in today's big match, Man United or Man City? Well, I don't really watch football, but I think I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Man United because they're red. Not particularly good reason, really. Yeah. What do you think Max meant by when he said there is an issue, but we know why in FE3? Well, I think in those sort of scenarios, what happens is that the teams kind of they aren't particularly maybe they have to make a setup choice, and if they're not particularly sure about what their setup choice is, then they're like, oh, maybe we're going to go slightly higher on the downforce and that'll fix it, or maybe we're going to go slightly softer on the suspension and that will fix it. And if it does the opposite, then they know what to do, right? Like if they soften the suspension and they lose performance, and they know the fix is just stiffen the suspension. So I think that's probably something that he was referring to. 9 degrees going down to 7 by 1 a.m. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess that's obviously very cold for Australia. Um, Whereas here in the UK, it's just your typical day. Why didn't you stream practice? I just don't stream practice really. Because well, I could stream practice and then not commentate, because I just can't commentate because I don't have the time to do practice, all 3 practice sessions. For, every single weekend there is. I guess I could just leave the data up, but I think I'd prefer for all of the live streams of my channel to just be me commentating, rather than just having some data up. My favorite driver is Seb Vettel, but since he's no longer in Formula One, I would have to say Fernando Alonso. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's keep a lookout for what's been happening in the paddock. We are now 22 minutes away from getting underway for qualifying, but yeah, Bottas clipped the wall, in fact, in FP3, ended up causing a red flag for about 10-12 minutes. So that was not ideal for Valtteri Bottas there, and for the rest of the drivers, because they didn't get to fully prepare. Bottas. So what he did was he just clipped the wall and damaged his front right suspension. I think that was going through the swimming pool chicane. On the entry to the swimming pool chicane, just to tap the barriers. And we've seen this happen quite often. I think Daniel Ricciardo's done it, Leclerc's done it, Kimi Räikkönen has got very close to doing it. So yeah, it's a fairly common mistake, and yeah, Bottas has just done that, damaged his front right suspension, but he should be fine in time for qualifying. Also, this other one, this thing is very surprising. McLaren. Okay, so McLaren, or who I think it's Zach Brown. Oh no, sorry, not Zach Brown. The McLaren team. Firstly, they have gone for a livery that is Senna inspired. So rather than being the typical orange that McLaren usually is, they are now a yellow and green McLaren. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that in a sort of interview style thing, the McLaren driver said we could be first or 10th, as they reveal a strategy gamble. So it seems like, I'm not sure exactly what McLaren have done. They're not going to go too much into details, but maybe McLaren have opted for an entirely quali-oriented setup, and they're going to go for the quali setup, and they're going to go full send. Maybe get second place, third place, maybe pole. Um, and then in the race, they're obviously going to suffer with really bad tyre wear, but given it's Monaco and it's really hard to overtake anyway, they might as well just, try it out. So that might happen, but we'll have to wait and see. It's a bit of an odd thing to say, like, oh yeah, we could be first, but we could also be 10th, especially when you're halfway through the season. Like if you're, at the first race of the season and you don't really know where everyone else is, then yeah, fair enough. It makes sense. We could be first, we could be 10th, but we're not exactly halfway, but we're a third of the way through the season now. And McLaren saying, oh, we could be first, we could be 10th seems slightly odd. Yeah. Right. It's more the driver than the car in Monaco. Yes, that is very true. Of course, at one of these circuits. Well, see, this is the thing. Usually, when it is more of the car than the driver at certain circuits, you can see that quite obviously in the timing sheet. You can see the both drivers and both teams. Both drivers from the same team. They will be right next to each other. You'll have second and third, and then seventh and eighth. All of those positions will be teammates right next to each other. Whereas at a more driver oriented circuit, you see that, you never really see that happen. You always see your teammates get differentiated and split. And yeah. And also, we'll wait and see what Fernando Alonso can do. He's had quite a bad weekend last weekend out in Imola. Not pretty typical. I think he made 2 mistakes. So yeah, quite unusual there for Fernando Alonso. But he will, look to bounce back in this weekend's Grand Prix, and I'm sure he will. I mean, even looking at the FP2 timings here, Fernando Alonso up in third, his teammate Lance Stroll in 7th, after only doing 9 laps as well, so Stroll must have had some sort of issue, but yeah, he'd already done his soft tyre runs by that point, so seems to be fine. Oh, and another thing that we'll have to keep in mind, traffic. This is one of the shortest circuits on the calendar, and in fact, it doesn't even reach the 305 kilometer minimum for a race. The FIA just have an exception for Monaco because it's Monaco, and they do less than 305 kilometers. So yeah, so where was I going with this? I have totally forgotten where I was going with that. Okay. Oh, traffic. That is, yeah, traffic. Okay. Yeah, okay. I have slightly lacking on the amount of sleep that I've had. So traffic in Monaco. Yeah, one of the shortest circuits, and in at the start of Q1, it's going to be absolutely hectic in terms of traffic. We even saw in practice sessions drivers were getting blocked and annoyed by all of the traffic, and yeah, the fact that the circuit is very short and very narrow. Traffic is going to be a major issue for the teams to manage, and we might even see some grid penalties getting dished out because of it. Yeah. All right. You are afraid the Mercs won't mess up Hamilton's setup for quali? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Mercs can do. But Hamilton was up in second position in FP2, so he should be fine. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna have a quick sip of water, but I'll be back in a second. Qualifying starts in 15 minutes time, and if you guys are interested in watching all of the the footage, the team radios, the onboards and everything like that with full commentary, then F1 TV Pro, the link is in the description and pinned in the chat if you want to check that out. All right, yeah. Let me know, guys, what your predictions are for qualifying. Where do you think the Red Bulls are going to be? Where do you think the Ferraris are going to be? And where do you think the McLarens are going to be? It is quite a tough call to make, to be honest. I would say probably Ferraris ahead of McLarens. Now, are the Ferraris quicker than Red Bull? Is Max Verstappen going to have a good day? Is Charles Leclerc going to have an exceptional day? Who knows? It's quite tough to say. Because it is, of course, Leclerc's home Grand Prix, but I don't think that has too much of an effect because you don't really race around Monaco even if you live there. Whereas, say if you're a Japanese driver driving at Suzuka in your junior career, probably a lot more likely than driving in Monaco, being a Monegasque person, I guess. Yeah. Max first, Perez second. Damn. Yeah, I totally forgot about Perez. I mean, he's down in 8th position. But I think he had a bad weekend last week as well. Yeah, bad weekend. Being unable to get through the traffic. Well, it's not really traffic. They were quick drivers, but for a Red Bull, it should have been traffic. Yeah, not ideal there for Sergio Perez. And we'll see if he can make a bounce back like Fernando Alonso. But I think it's going to be pretty tough against Max Verstappen at Monaco. That being said, Sergio Perez is very good at street circuits. So, maybe there's a chance. And of course, if you remember, if you end up on provisional pole position, just remember to go out first and cause the yellow flag. And then you end up getting pole position. Facts. That is definitely not a, totally approved strategy. No mistakes happening there. Definitely no one's ever done that on purpose in the history of Formula One. So, yeah. Right. Also, a little bit of an update on Adrian Newey. He has said that he is going to go to another Formula One team. He's not going to totally leave the sport, or he's not going to go do like some sailing aerodynamics or bike aerodynamics or anything like that. He is going to be in Formula One, and he's just going to go to a different team. So we'll have to wait and see what team he goes to. But no announcements have been made as of yet. I'm sure all the teams are still trying to contact him or sign up, draft up a contract. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens to Adrian Newey. All right. Okay, let's talk about Ricciardo on this circuit. Well, Ricciardo. Ricciardo obviously has a win at this circuit. Not many drivers can say that they've won at Monaco, but Ricciardo is one of them. And he did an exceptional job. Actually, he was on for a win in 2016, but Red Bull, I think, messed up his pit stop, and he lost out on the win because of that. And then in 2018, he won it with while being down 150 horsepower on his engine. So simply exceptional there from Daniel Ricciardo. Now we'll wait and see if he can replicate that. Now, of course, those were the Red Bull days when Daniel Ricciardo did get his win, and he was. I would say Daniel Ricciardo is a very different driver. If you compare his time at Red Bull compared to his time post Red Bull, so we'll see if he can match that. But it's going to be a tall order. and he's got to go up against Yuki Tsunoda, which who has raced here quite a few times now, and has a decent amount of experience. So yeah, it'll be a tough challenge for Daniel Ricciardo, but nothing that he can't overcome. Happy Saturday. Hello. Can Leclerc win his home race? Well, I don't see a reason why not. He just has to pull out an exceptionally amazing pole lap and then defend for the rest of the race. Doesn't seem awfully too difficult, but defend for the rest of the race doesn't seem awfully too difficult. But getting a exceptional pole lap is, getting an exceptional pole lap will be quite tough, especially considering I think Charles Leclerc's made quite a few mistakes around here in qualifying. Maybe the pressure of it being his home race gets a little bit to him, but or maybe it's just Monaco and the fact that the barriers are so close. Oh, okay, it's 160 horsepower, not 150. Well, thank you for the information. Yeah. All right, then we are getting underway. Well, not yet, but we will be very soon. Qualifying will be qualifying's not over, as it says at the bottom right. Yeah, right, there we go. We've got 154 likes. We've got 1,000 people tuning in. Thank you very much for all of the support, folks. And if we could hit 500 likes, that would be fantastic. All right. Yeah, let's get rid of the FP2 timings, and I shall put up the qualifying timings. Oh, well, the qualifying timings have not appeared as of yet. Oh, no, they should appear in 30 seconds or so. So, yeah, just hang in there. Okie dokes. What else is going on? Not really much. I mean, there's a lot of yachts all around. I'm sure a lot of very rich people are watching the race from the streets of Monaco. And yeah, make your. I don't think I'm going to make the sub goal 69,420. I think 69,000 for the last weekend was all right enough. Alonso pole manifesting. Nah, I think Fernando Alonso is going to make it through into Q3, maybe even the top 5, depending on how good his final lap is. But yeah, pole a little bit unrealistic for the Astons. How many red flags in Q1? Well, see, this is the thing. Usually, we have a rookie or two that's never driven at Monaco before, but all of these drivers have driven here either in Formula 2 or they've driven here at least one race in Formula 1. So everyone has experienced Monaco. They've learned the process of how you go about approaching things. So I think a chance for a red flag in Q1 is probably pretty slim because the drivers know, especially like the drivers that are going to get into the top 10 regardless, they know that there's no point going all out attack in Q1 because if you make a mistake then you're going to end up in 20th position at the start of tomorrow's race, which is not where you want to be. So I think the most likely time we'll have a red flag or a crash will be Q3. Yeah. Alonso, Hamilton over Verstappen, incredibly skilled and clinical. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the experience. This is one of those circuits where the more laps you've done in real life, in a proper Formula 1 car, when you've got the barriers right there, I think that greatly increases your chances. Whereas, say a circuit like the Mexican Grand Prix or COTA, for example, if you have if you're driving around on a decent enough simulator, you get a fairly accurate experience. Like, sure, you don't get the entire sensation of speed, but it's it's close enough. Whereas in Monaco, with the barriers so close, there's nothing really that can replicate it in a simulator. Yeah. Oh, and there we go. We've got the team radios coming through as well. 5 minutes to go. Do let me know if that is too small to read, folks, because if it is, I can make it bigger. Yeah. All right. Norris is good and he's in off the pace from Oscar so weekend so far. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Norris will be able to bring it back. Obviously hasn't had the best time so far, but yes, not yesterday, last weekend in quali he was slower than Piastri for basically all of quali, and then the final lap of Q3 came along and he's put a sensational lap together. So I wouldn't count Norris out, to be honest. Right, a little bigger. There we go. I shall do that. Just let me mute my mic and make it a little bit bigger, especially considering most of these chat messages are fairly small. I think we can get away with that. There we go. All right, let's get underway now for the Grand Prix. Well, for the qualifying, we have got the softest tyres of the Pirelli range, the C5s, the C4s, and the C3s. Of course, we're at Monaco, a very low-speed circuit with a low abrasiveness on the track as well. So the softest tyres are the choice from Pirelli. We are round number 8 of 24 in this season in 2024. A lot of action to look forward to. What can I say? Yeah. Right. Rooting for Charles, hope he can win his home Grand Prix. Indeed, I will be doing the same. As as much as I'm a Fernando Alonso fan, I don't think it's going to be his weekend. And if I do want someone to win, it will be Charles Leclerc winning his home Grand Prix. That would be fantastic. So, yeah, let's wait and see. And just, the usual qualifying, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 12 minutes for Q1, 2, and 3, respectively. And we'll have 78 laps of racing around Monaco tomorrow. Also, do let me know, guys, what you think of the McLaren livery. They have got a Senna-inspired livery with green and yellow. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm not personally a big fan. I would say I like their orange livery better. But would have preferred a Marlboro livery. Yeah, that would have been really cool. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But there you go. We're seeing all of the messages over the radio. Engine start, pressing the brake, engine start for Yuki Tsunoda and all of the other drivers as well, getting ready to start their engines. And we've got a couple of drivers lined up at the end of the pit lane as well. It looks like we've got Fernando Alonso lined up there. Yeah, we've got quite a few drivers lined up at the end. They want to get out early, get a lap in before, getting blocked by traffic, or if there's a red flag or a yellow flag that ruins a lap, well, just get out early. That's the plan. The entire pit lane has all just formed a queue. Everyone's ready and raring to go, which is something that we don't see particularly often in Formula One pit lanes. But yeah, it's Monaco. Things are different. Got 30 seconds remaining. I'm going to get rid of the timer on the screen. Yeah, there we go. There we go then. We have got the drivers coming out of the pit lane. Yeah, pretty typical. All right, the Mercedes are out first. They're going to have a clear track ahead of them, and then there's Logan Sargent, Daniel Ricciardo, Alex Albon, and everyone else now coming out the pit lane rather slowly, trying to build that gap and make sure that they don't get hit with any traffic ahead of them. Because this is the thing, at other circuits you can end up like 5 seconds behind the driver ahead of you, and you're not going to lose out too much downforce. But where you're at Monaco, and you need all of the downforce you can get. Yeah, you want to space yourself out as much as possible. Even the tiniest amount of dirty air could have a negative effect on your lap. So, yeah, the drivers really taking their time now coming out of the pit lane, making sure they're totally spread out. And Hamilton, they came out right at the start, hoping that they wouldn't get traffic, but here they are coming out of the final. Well, Hamilton coming out of the 19th and final corner. And it looks like he's going to have a whole lot of traffic to deal with. So let's wait and see what happens. Right. Here we go then. Oh, what's gone on there? Don't know why the data has just frozen. I'm sure I'll be back in a second, but I'll just carry on commentating from what I can see. Hamilton's on his flying lap, obviously on a set of soft tyres as usual, going up the hill through the casino. And yeah, it's first lap for Lewis Hamilton, really. Nothing too exciting. Make sure to avoid that massive bump on the downhill as you approach the hairpin. And then all of the steering, apologies for that, I need to turn down my mic volume. All of the steering lock on as he goes through the chicane and heading towards now the next chicane. I think it's called the Nouvelle, I don't know, Nouvelle chicane. Yeah. All right. So Hamilton now. Oh, look at that. Norris purple through the first sector out of the first couple of drivers to be on their hot laps. So, yeah. Okie dokes. Hamilton across the line he comes. And what lap time is it going to be for him? It is going to be a 1:19.5 for Lewis Hamilton. That is quite the ways off the pace. George Russell a 1:24.4. Yeah. Looks like they were going for a warm-up lap. Yeah, that's the other problem. With the circuit so short, there's just not enough time to heat up all of your tyres in one lap. So the drivers often go for double warm-ups, which ends up taking even more time. And yeah. Oh, we've got Lewis Hamilton lap time deleted for track limits at turn number 10. Perez for lap time track limits deleted for turn number 10 as well. It looks like both drivers just skipped the chicane because they were on cool-down warm-up laps anyway. And yeah. So that's basically what they're trying to do, is just get the tires to their absolute peak performance, get the brakes to the correct temperature, because the carbon brakes that they have in these Formula 1 cars, they only work at a very specific temperature range. And if they're not there, you're not going to get optimal braking performance. So yeah, double warm-ups is something that we've been seeing from the Mercs. Not everyone else is doing that, but Hamilton, first driver across the lap, well, first of his laps at least, and it's a 120.9 from him. Yuki Tsunoda, without a double warm-up, does a 130.0. And we have George Russell, a 113.2. Track temperature, 47 degrees. It is extremely hot. So even with these extremely high track temperatures, we're still getting drivers with double warm-up laps. And yeah, quite interesting there. But Verstappen with a purple first sector, purple third sector, and he comes across the line, a 112.7 there for Max Verstappen on his first flying lap. Let's see what Charles Leclerc can do as he starts his first flying lap. Hulkenberg goes purple through the middle sector. That is exceptionally quick there from Nico Hulkenberg. Don't know how he's pulled that one off. But we always know Hulkenberg can just pull a lap out of nowhere, and so can Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen up into first, now quickly knocked off by his teammate. Both Hasses in first and second position. This is kind of the thing that I was saying. The drivers here, they are slowly but surely building up, and it looks like the Hasses are worried about getting knocked out of Q1, so they're building up a lot quicker than the remaining cars, and that's why you see them up in first and second position. I don't think Haas are going to end up on pole, but yeah, seriously, good job from them. We've got Piastri up in third, Stroll in fifth, Alonso goes 1/10 behind Stroll in sixth position. Once again, Stroll ahead of Alonso. 2 weekends, well, it's 2 weekends in a row, but we haven't reached the end of qualifying yet, so I can't make any claims as of now. And let's have a look at Charles Leclerc. It's a green first sector, a green second sector, a couple of purple mini sectors in there. And as he comes out of the final corner, what can he do? It's sixth place for Charles Leclerc at his home Grand Prix. The Ferraris that look to be the quickest. Leclerc currently in sixth, Sainz across the line, and Sainz is in 20th. Looks like he is doing a warm-up lap, and that is why he is, in 20th position. Norris across the line, a 112.6, goes half a tenth quicker than Piastri. Then we have Yuki Tsunoda up into 5th position on his second qualifying lap of Q3. And George Russell starting his flying lap, and look at that, a purple first sector there from George Russell. He is doing a very nice job. He breaks downhill into the Nouvelle chicane, barely clipping the wall, and very, very nicely executed there from George Russell as he goes through the curves in the swimming pool chicane. We'll wait and see what he can do as he approaches Rascasse. And Pierre Gasly up into 5th position. George Russell out of the final corner. DRS is activated, and it is first position for George Russell. He goes a tenth and a half quicker than Kevin Magnussen. Track evolution, once again, will be key. Given the fact that Monaco is a street circuit, track evolution is going to be a lot more powerful than a normal racetrack. All right, Sainz now up into second place. He's done a warm-up, and now he's done a quick lap, and he goes at 1 minute 12.2. So that it looks like that is the way to go. With the Ferrari drivers, they're usually very, very close to each other. So the only thing that was different between the two Ferrari drivers was the fact that Sainz did a warm-up and Leclerc didn't do a warm-up lap. And yeah, Sainz is up in 3rd, Leclerc's down in 16th. So, yeah, I would say, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that doing a warm lap is the quickest way to go about things. Max Verstappen across the line for first position, a 112.0. Still not quicker than the practice times from yesterday, but, Piastri pops into the 111s. 2/10 quicker than Max Verstappen. Nicely done there from Piastri. Stroll up into 3rd place as well. He goes, and then Alonso up into 3rd place, pushing Stroll down. But yeah, 1/10 quicker is Fernando Alonso compared to Lance Stroll now on this previous run. So yeah, I mean, this is good, really good. Piastri is up in 1st position, and Alonso is within touching distance of Verstappen. It is all great signs and good to see. We've got 9 minutes left of the first session, and yeah. All right, there we go. Then Charles Leclerc, he comes out of the final corner after his second hot lap, and he goes into ninth position there, a 112.4 from him. Yeah, still behind his teammate at his home Grand Prix. Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo coming over the radio complaining about traffic at turn number 3. It's not great really there for Daniel Ricciardo, and he is, maybe there's going to be some sort of issue there. There's going to be an investigation between Sainz and Albon. Albon, by the looks of it, Albon has got involved with Sainz and with Ricciardo on both of their hot laps. So there might be a penalty coming Alex Albon's way. Ocon goes across the line up into 5th place for him. Gasly up into 3rd. That is some serious quick pace from the Alpines. Maybe they were just lacking in terms of drag and power. We do know that the Alpine engine is the least powerful out of every manufacturer in Formula 1. So, Monaco would, it makes sense that they're doing well in Monaco. And the fact that they're up in 4th position is a great sign. Right. So currently the elimination zone is Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Sargent, Bottas, and Zhou. The Alfa Romeo is having a very bad weekend. Even in FP2, both of them were in 19th and 20th position, and once again, they are in 19th and 20th position. It is not a circuit where they want to be, really. And I just hazard a guess that they just don't have as much downforce as they'd like. They've got, the drag that they want, but when it comes to absolute peak performance in terms of downforce, they just don't have it. And that is what is causing their downfall at this circuit. Whereas, in previous other circuits, they might have been able to get out of Q1, but yeah, it's not happening this time. Well, as of now, we'll wait and see. But Logan, just outside the elimination zone, we have Sergio Perez in 15th position, Lewis Hamilton in 13th position, and as I say that, Hamilton puts himself up into 2nd place. Leclerc is currently in the 13th position, so he might, be at risk. Perez currently in the pits; he'll be coming out soon enough. Carlos Sainz across the line; he goes into 4th position there, and it looks like Charles Leclerc is going to do a warm-up lap. He's going quite slowly. But he will not be coming into the pits. He's doing it on a used set of tyres as well, 5-lap old soft tyres. Given it is Monaco, you're not going to be extracting that much life out of the tyres because you just aren't going that quick to extract the life out of the tyres. Charles Leclerc should be fine doing that run on a old set of softs. All right. Right. Let's see what Charles Leclerc can do. It looks like he's encountered Max Verstappen at quite an awkward point of the circuit, but he seems to make through just fine. And now he is heading towards, through the tunnel of turn number 9 and now towards the Nouvelle Chicane. Breaking downhill, very, very easy to lock up. We saw it happen in F2, but now they are heading towards the swimming pool chicane. And Charles Leclerc is green in both first and the second sector. So it's looking good for him. And now the final sector, which is the shortest sector of them all, what can he do? Kevin Magnussen up into 1st position. What a lap. Charles Leclerc across the line, he goes up into 1st position, 2/10 ahead of Kevin Magnussen, but a seriously good lap there from Kevin Magnussen, I must say. Danny Rick goes across the line up into 10th place for him. And then we've got Nico Hulkenberg, who's currently in 13th. He goes up into 3rd, matching his teammate within half a tenth of a second. Max Verstappen starts his flying lap. And yeah, let's wait and see. Sargent, he is also starting his flying lap. We've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock. And yeah, the elimination zone is, well, the same as before, except Daniel Ricciardo's out and Sergio Perez is in. Yeah, Sergio Perez down in 16th position. He's really got to make some improvements there. Yeah. All right. Oh, look at that. Lance Stroll up into 2nd place. He's had a couple of purple mini sectors there as well. George Russell now up into 1st. It is very, very close here in Monaco. All of the drivers very tightly packed, and usually you don't see this much of a mixed up pack. Even in Q1, it is very mixed up. But great to see. To be honest, I am, I'm never going to turn down a little bit more competition in Formula One. Hamilton is the next driver to come across the line. What can he do? Well, he's actually starting a flying lap. Verstappen comes across the line. 3rd place for Verstappen goes, what's he, a half a tenth behind Leclerc, 2 tenths behind George Russell. That is quite good there from Max Verstappen. But is it going to be good enough to end up getting pole at the end of Q3? We are still yet to find out. Piastri has got a lap time deleted. Oh no, that's fine. He's just been driving through the chicane on a slow lap. Tsunoda across the line, he's 7th position for that purple middle sector from Tsunoda, a very good middle sector there. I mean, maybe it got a little bit of a tow going through the tunnel that might have caused it, but Piastri, he's quickly taken that middle sector away, quickest middle sector away from him, and as Piastri comes out of the final corner, we'll wait and see what he can do. Fernando Alonso is right on Piastri's tail, looking to get a nice tow as he comes across the start-finish line. Very good planning there from Fernando Alonso as he goes to start his lap, but Piastri across the line stays in 9th position for him. No big improvement. Perez comes across the line. It's only 14th position for Sergio Perez, guys. Only 14th position. And with 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock, is that going to be enough time for him to recharge his battery and get out again? I don't know. It does not look that lightly, but we've got Stroll. He is now starting a lap. Leclerc has just ended a lap. Hamilton goes up into 2nd position. I mean, the Mercs are doing really well here. It might be to suit their car, or it might just be that the fact that it's Q1 and not everyone's going full attack just yet. All right, Perez, 14th position. He's got 1 minute, yeah, he's not going to be able to make it around for another lap, I don't think. At least not any sort of quick lap. So, yeah, he is very much at risk unless, I think Norris will be able to set another quick lap. And in fact, just looking at Norris's time right now, he is doing a warm-up lap with 50 seconds left on the clock. He's going to start his flying lap. And there's quite a big little, there's quite the queue forming at the end of Rascas turn number 19. There is Gasly, and now there's Norris, but there's traffic coming through. There's quick drivers coming through as well. We're going to have Kevin Magnussen come through there, but the queue has cleared itself up, and 20 seconds remain on the timer. And what can Sergio Perez do? Is he coming into the pits? Is he starting another flying lap? Looks like Perez is starting another flying lap. Yeah, let's wait and see. 9 seconds left then. Both Mercs into the pits. They know that they're going to be absolutely fine. Leclerc into the pits. They're not deciding to risk it. The checkered flag is out. Has Verstappen taken it, or is he going to do another lap? No, Verstappen's already taken the checkered flag, so he's going to come into the pits now. And let's see what happens then. We've got Alex Albon up into 4th position. Wow, Sargent up into 14th. That pushes Perez into 15th. Sainz goes up into 3rd position. Great lap from him. Now he's matching his teammate. Valtteri Bottas, who's currently in 19th, stays in 19th, even though he did improve his lap. Ricciardo up into 8th. That pushes Perez into the elimination zone. Perez, though, is on a flying lap, so let's wait and see what he can do. Tsunoda in 10th. Then we have Esteban Ocon. He's in 13th. Then we have got Pierre Gasly in 7th, Lando Norris up into 9th. The McLaren's not as quick as they would have hoped, I'm guessing. Well, never mind, totally scratch that, because Piastri is now up into 2nd place. A solid job from the Aussie driver. And now we've got Sergio Perez, who's currently in 18th position. He crosses the line. He does not improve. And Sergio Perez is eliminated out of Q1. Wow. That is, can we get an F in the chat there for Sergio Perez? What has happened there? Fernando Alonso as well getting knocked out of Q1, while his teammate Lance Stroll is up in 9th position. What is going on there for Fernando Alonso? 2 weekends in a row, he's been beat by Lance Stroll in qualifying. Yeah, I guess an F in the chat for Perez, an F in the chat for Alonso. It has not been going well for those two drivers. These past 2 weeks, and yeah, the trend continues. Right, so that has been Q1. Quite the exciting Q1, really. Right, Perez has just come over the radio saying, what a joke. So he's not particularly pleased. I mean, I'm sure he will say that there's traffic somewhere, and he might be right, actually. He might have just been blocked because his 1st and 2nd sector was good, but then his 3rd sector is where he lost all of his time. So maybe there was traffic in the 3rd sector. We'll have to wait and see. This is qualifying. The race is tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what's up with all of these yellow flags and why they're deploying the yellow flags, but they will. I assure you, they'll be cleared up by the time Q2 gets underway. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, folks. If you guys could hit the like button, that'd be fantastic. Hopefully, we could hit 500 likes. That would be brilliant. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I would just say a big surprise. Not really much else to add on top of that. Sargent being eliminated, not too out of the ordinary, and then the two Saubers as well. They having a very bad weekend here. I think one of Sauber's strong suits is the fact that they do have a quick engine in the form of the Ferrari engine, but their aerodynamics isn't so great. And, at a aerodynamics heavy circuit like Monaco, it is quite clear to see that they are lacking in performance. Do let me know who you guys think will be eliminated in the following Q2, who will be the bottom 5. Yeah. Right. All right. Also, Daniel Ricciardo doing better than Yuki Tsunoda. He's up in 11th while Tsunoda's down in 13th. Not too big of a difference there. But yeah, Daniel Ricciardo on his path to recovery at least, getting back to his former form and former pace, because it's been kind of lacking, to be honest, from Daniel Ricciardo. But it's good to see the improvement and him getting back in form. All right. Danny Rick's experience here should dictate, yeah, they will outperform Yuki indeed. Perez did not have traffic in the final corner or anything like that, but he is really just losing out significantly because of, well, he just had he picked up the power too early going through the corner, and that's what happened there. So yeah. When will it be Q2? It'll be Q2 in I think it's 2 minutes time now. Yeah, 2 or 1 minutes time. Not long whatsoever, really. All right. Yeah, as you guys can see from the radio, they've told Daniel Ricciardo is that their plan is to do push, double cool, and then a push. So that's the plan, and we're seeing this quite often now. Double cool down laps, double warm up laps, because the circuit just isn't long enough for the drivers to get all of their tire temperature and brake temperature, requirements met. Over the, I think it's only 3.1 kilometers. Yeah, 3.1 kilometer long circuit. And there you go. Q2 has begun. Nico Hulkenberg, the first driver to come out of the pit lane. There is already a queue forming. Well, no, the queue is already formed, sorry. And the drivers are slowly but surely leaving the queue. We've got Danny Rick coming out of the pit lane and Alex Albon as well. There we go. Only 15 drivers on the circuit though, so it should be a little bit less hectic, and the chances of traffic should be slightly lower than before. I think 110 is unrealistic considering Monaco doesn't have a lot of track evolution. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the soft tires. And if we look at, I think it's the Q. Yeah, who knows what happens really. In practice 3, the quickest lap time was a 1 minute 11.3. So if they're doing that in FP3, surely they could go 0.3 quicker in a quali session and dip down into the 110s, like maybe a 110.9. Yeah, who knows? Because usually, there is a significant pace difference between practice and quali. But maybe not. Maybe the teams are pushing a little bit harder in the practice sessions because they know that you have to, build up to it. And if you're not pushing in the practice sessions and you go out into qualifying and you start pushing, mistakes can happen very, very easily. Okie dokes. 13 minutes and 10 seconds remain. We have a couple of drivers on hot laps, but by the looks of it, most drivers going around quite slowly to just do their first warm up and get their brake temperatures within the window. Yeah. All right. All right. Here we go then. Nico Hulkenberg, first driver to come across the line. A 1:11.9 from Nico Hulkenberg. A nice lap indeed. Yeah, let's wait and see what everyone else can do. We've got Gasly, he's starting flying laps. Daniel Ricciardo, he comes across the line, but he's done a 1 minute 12.1. Maybe that was a slow lap, I'm not sure really. Oh no, it was a hot lap. They told Daniel Ricciardo to push at the start, so okie dokes. Yeah, just a whole lot of traffic messages over the radio telling everyone who's pushing and where they are on the circuit and when to watch out. Interesting. Okie dokes. Max Verstappen, a 111.1. Carlos Sainz also a 111.1, but he goes 19 milliseconds ahead of Max Verstappen. So a very good lap there from Carlos Sainz. Now, the question remains is how long will that stand for? What can Charles Leclerc do? Yeah, Leclerc is down. Leclerc's a tenth and a half behind his teammate, which isn't the best. But yeah. Why is K? He was doing a warm up. That's what he was doing, or a cool down lap or something like that. Ooh, Nico Hulkenberg getting very cozy with the barrier there. He picks up a little bit of oversteer as he comes out of the final corner, has his right-left tyre just tap into the barriers, and a little bit of carbon goes flying off. I'm sure it won't have too big of an effect, but it's not great, to say the least, there for Nico Hulkenberg, losing a little bit of bodywork to the streets of Monaco. All right. So 9 minutes and 50 seconds through remain of the session. Esteban Ocon has got a purple middle sector. How has he done that? I have no idea. Yeah. And we've got Max Verstappen with a purple first sector, so it looks like he's on his way to reclaim that first position away from Carlos Sainz. But Esteban Ocon with the purple middle sector up into fourth position. He goes ahead of Charles Leclerc. The Alpine are really quick around this weekend. I think the fact that they're slow everywhere else just purely comes from a lack of power then. If they can make it through into Q3 on in Monaco, then it is, just a sure fact that they're just lacking in power everywhere else, and that's what's causing their issues. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. And Verstappen, there he goes. He improves. He improves by 0.2 of a second, and he goes up into first position ahead of Carlos Sainz. We've got George Russell up into ninth after his lap. Charles Leclerc he improves, but not enough to gain any positions. And then Daniel Ricciardo has just exceeded track limits there because he is doing a double cooldown lap. Okie dokes. And look at that, yeah, Max Verstappen a 111.019, so it's kind of obvious that he will be getting a 109, 110, sorry. Esteban Ocon has just been blocked quite horribly on his lap. On his second flying lap, so there's going to be some sort of penalty awarded there. It was one of the Hasses, but that was really obvious. Well, let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see. Okie dokes. Who will replace Perez, Ricardo, Yuki, or Lawson? Well, as of now, it looks like it's Yuki Tsunoda who's up in third position, where Sergio Perez really should be. But Perez is eliminated, and he's third slowest out of everyone in the paddock. Not great there for the Mexican driver. Yeah. Right, why the McLaren stinking? No idea. I mean, McLaren did say that they're going to go and take a strategy gamble, and they said it was so totally strange. They said that they're going to be either first place or 10th place. They don't really know, and they're just taking a strategy gamble, which seems totally odd and out of place to say. Like, surely they know approximately where they're going to be. I don't know what sort of gamble that you're taking, where you don't know if you're going to be first or 10th. Like, that's quite a big difference there. Yeah. Hmm. Carlos Sainz, there he goes, starting a flying lap. And in fact, I should probably take you guys through a flying lap. So we've got Carlos Sainz going up the hill now, goes towards the casino corner on the exit of turn number 4. He's got to pull over to the right hand side because there is that massive bump, and the cars cannot cope with that. Now he brakes downhill going through turn number 5 through the hairpin maximum steering lock. The cars have to change the steering rack just for Monaco because of how tight that hairpin is, and then they come out of Portier onto the tunnel. Yeah, we've had quite a few incidents there in F2, but a clear tunnel this time. Now braking downhill into the Nouvelle chicane, and deals with that very nicely. Gets very, very close to the apex on the inside. But now through towards the swimming pool chicane as turn number 14 and 15. And now towards Rascasse, the final third sector, the shortest of them all. Carlos Sainz, slower in the first sector, a personal best in the second sector, and comes out of the final corner. Does he improve on his lap time? Yes, he does, but not enough to get ahead of Max Verstappen. He's half a tenth behind Max Verstappen instead of 1.5 tenths behind Max Verstappen. So an improvement there from Carlos Sainz, but it's not enough to get up into first. Lewis Hamilton across the line. He is in the 1:11.1 as well. And that's third place there for Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc, what can he do? He is about to start a flying lap. And Oscar Piastri, look at that purple middle sector for him. He comes out of the final corner. First place for Oscar Piastri, a quarter of a second ahead of Max Verstappen. A quarter of a second. Wow. Some serious pace there from Oscar Piastri. Dipping firmly into the 110s. I mean, a 110.7 from Oscar Piastri. George Russell at 110.9. And he goes 1/10 ahead of Max Verstappen. That is some serious pace from both those drivers. I don't know where that's just come from. Track temperature has come down. It was previously 47 degrees. Now it's down to 42. So cooling track temperatures are going to help with overheating and giving a little bit more mechanical grip to the drivers. But yeah, I mean, that shouldn't have a quarter of a second pace difference. That is a very good lap from the McLarens. Well, from Piastri. Let's wait and see what Norris can do. Yeah, Norris is currently on a flyer. Okay, Leclerc across the line, second place for him, and he goes 1/10 behind Oscar Piastri. Look at that, the top four, all four different drivers, and Max Verstappen is even in first place. It is great to see. All right. Oh, we have hit our like target. I guess I could probably increase that to, I don't know, 900, sure. If you guys are enjoying the coverage, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Really will help out the channel. And if you are enjoying, then I will also be streaming the race in its entirety. I'll probably be a little bit less tired than I am right now, and my voice will be a little bit more exciting. But yeah, so be sure to subscribe. And I guess, yeah, if you guys are, of course, since you're watching this, you are fans of F1. Oh my God, Lando Norris up into first position there and matches Piastri's time. He goes within 24 milliseconds. So McLaren's now, okay, so their strategy gamble where they were, how I just said that they were, oh yeah, the strategy gamble was going to be first or 10th. It looks like maybe it's going to be first, not 10th position, because they were absolutely nowhere. And then 2 quick laps. They were admittedly on a fresh set of tyres, but 2 quick laps on a fresh set of tyres, which is exactly what it's going to be in Q3. And the McLarens are up in first and second position. That is ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. Okay, yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, F1 TV Pro. If you guys are F1 fans, which you are since you're watching this, and you want all of the coverage and the team radio and the footage and onboards and all the stuff like that and commentary, in like I think 4 or 5 different languages, then F1 TV Pro is where you can get that. Link is in the description or in the chat. Yeah, pinned chat message. Yeah, McLaren have really put that together, and now let's just wait and see. I mean, it's not totally over just yet. Max Verstappen has just set a purple first sector, and let's wait and see what he can do in the middle sector. But some, yeah, a personal best middle sector there from Max Verstappen. So is that going to be enough to get ahead of the McLarens? The gap is what, a quarter of a second, so he's still got a fair amount of time to make up. It's not just totally done and dusted, and there he comes out of the final corner, gets a nice clean exit, and the power comes down, and he goes ahead of Piastri, but behind Norris, splitting the McLarens in half, and still, wow, Norris is still in the lead of this, and Verstappen is marginally, very, very narrowly behind. That is crazy. F1 TV Plus isn't fully available. Yeah, it's not ideal. I mean, the only reason it's not available is because Sky Sports have bought out all of the licensing rights. Like, honestly, I just hate Sky Sports because you pay for Sky Sports, and then in between quali sessions, they'll show you adverts. Like, you pay for it and also watch adverts. Like, what? Yeah, Sky Sports is just the worst. Anyway, that's the every stream, weekly Sky Sports hate done with, and yeah. Yeah, they even show ads during free practice. It's just really annoying. Yeah, but with F1 TV Pro, you don't get the adverts. Given the fact, if you're in the correct part of the world where Sky Sports hasn't bought all the rights out. The top three covered by 0. Yeah, the top three. I mean, just look at that. The top four, sorry, covered by 1/10 of a second. So close together. It is fantastic. Alpine as well. Yeah, Alpine up. Look at that. Gasly in 5th position. So I think the Alpines are just totally lacking engine performance. We knew at the start of the season going into that the Alpine would be down on power compared to everyone else, but it's I didn't think it would be. I thought there were other factors as well playing into the fact that they were losing performance and they were slower than everyone else. But no, it was just the fact that they were down on power, and they brought that upgrade package, which helped the downforce, I'm guessing. But no engine. Yeah, I mean, the engines have been frozen. You can only upgrade reliability. So if they can make that engine more reliable, they can run in higher engine mode. But I'm guessing there's a reason why they're not doing that, because they'll have an engine failure. Yeah, we've had Q2 is over, by the way. The drivers eliminated are Esteban Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll, and Kevin Magnussen. Nothing too surprising there, apart from the fact that Ricciardo, even though being more experienced than Yuki Tsunoda at this circuit, has been outqualified by him by 0.3 of a second. A very big gap there between Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo. Okie dokes. And that is the end of Q2. So Q3 will begin in 4 minutes' time. And then we'll have the final top 10 shootout, and we'll see who ends up on pole and who most likely might end up winning the race as well. Because, it's Monaco. There's the chances of you ending up on, the chances of you, if you are on pole, actually winning the race, pretty high, considering overtaking is extremely difficult. And, I'm just putting this out there. I'm sure, the FIA would not be pleased if this was to actually happen. But if Norris is in first place and Piastri is in second place, they could I'm sure they could just work together and just not allow anyone past. They could literally just go side by side through every part of the circuit and be like, yeah, I don't think you're going to overtake me, buddy. But I don't think that's going to happen because the FIA would get quite annoyed quite quickly and start dishing out penalties. But yeah, 76.6% of them are winning. Thank you for the stats. Fianol. Yeah, 76.6% of people win from pole position in Monaco. Is it possible to watch F1 TV Pro live with a VPN? I think it is. But if you're going to use a VPN, then you could, I think, VPN to Austria and then watch service TV and then put on my commentary. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you guys could figure it out. I don't know why it says yellow flag. The FIA have just been messing around with the flags in between sessions. I think they're just checking the fact that everything works. They've been going around, I think, systematically just making sure all of the little yellow flag and the green flag sections work. Right. So Sergio Perez, he's giving an interview now about what happened when he got knocked out of Q1. What he's saying is that they've been changing a lot of things in the cars. They haven't been able to get into the rhythm of things. So yeah, that's sort of like his reasoning. They've been changing a lot of things, and he hasn't been able to adapt to the car, get into the rhythm. And rhythm, to be fair, is a very good point. Around Monaco, on these circuits, like you can't just take one corner at a time. It's one corner, then the next corner, then the next corner. The drivers barely have enough time to change settings on their steering wheel. So yeah, rhythm is pretty key. And if he's saying that he was lacking that, that's a fairly understandable reason. Yeah. Also, I'd like to say Alex Albon has made it through into Q3. A excellent job there. Absolutely brilliant from Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly as well. After struggling for so long in the season, first 7 races really not doing that well. So yeah, solid job there from Pierre Gasly. And Yuki Tsunoda as well, getting out-qualifying Daniel Ricciardo to get through into Q3. Everyone now will have a fresh set of soft tyres. Qualifying will be starting in 1 minute's time or 30 seconds time, and we will have the final top 10 shootout for Monaco. If Checo was replaced, who would replace him? I would probably say Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda is probably top candidate. He's been driving for AlphaTauri for quite a while now. He has got experience. He's young. He's quicker than Ricciardo. And, he's matured as well as a driver. He came into Formula One thinking like, oh, yeah, I've been quick through Formula 2 and Super Formula and all of that, and I'll be quick in Formula 1 and I don't have to put any effort in. That's what he said himself in the interview. Well, he didn't say that. He looking back in retrospect, 6 months after being in Formula 1, he was like, that was my attitude. But I've realized I have to change that attitude because that's not how it works. And he's matured as a driver, as a person, a little bit less angry over the radio as well. So I think that is Yuki Tsunoda would be a prime candidate for that seat. Who would have replaced Yuki? Maybe Liam Lawson, maybe I think it's Isaac Hadjar. From Formula 2. Don't think it'll be Kimi Antonelli because he is definitely a Mercedes thingy. Does F1 TV Pro provide live telecast or live timing? They provide the live telecast given you're in the right country. So I'd suggest you check that you're in the right country. And if you are, then they have the live telecast, the live onboards. You can get every single driver's on board. So if you want to watch Sainz's on board and Verstappen's on board at the same time, you can do that. Yeah. All right. Q3 is underway, and the first drive out of the pit lane is Carlos Sainz. Then we have Alex Albon, then Gasly, then Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. All right. Also, folks, if you are not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Really will help out the channel. And if we could hit 900 or in fact 1,000 likes, that would be brilliant. Really would be very nice. All right. Where does Carlos go to? I have no idea. I mean, maybe Carlos replaces Sergio Perez, but not particularly sure. All right. All I want for Christmas is a Lando or Charles Pole. Well, I mean, it is the 25th of May, but you know, if you want an early Christmas present halfway through the year, then why not? All right, here we go then. Carlos Sainz is starting his first flying lap of the Q3 session. Is he going to do a warm-up or is he going to do a or is he just going to go straight out and do a hot lap? He should be fine for a hot lap coming out of the pits. The tires sort of been pre-warmed up for him. Yeah, he's doing a fairly standard lap, really. You know, Carlos Sainz getting on the power smoothly, and yeah, he's pulled out of it early because he is doing a warm-up lap, whereas Pierre Gasly is not doing a warm-up lap. Oh no, Alex Albon, sorry, he's not doing a warm-up lap. Alex Albon's going for an actual hot lap. All right. Let's wait and see then. Yeah, the drivers having to play around with the settings as they go through the tunnel. Hamilton was changing the brake bias as he goes towards the Nouvelle chicane. Quite a lot of the drivers do that to just get a little bit of better rotation as they go through that corner. All right, Alex Albon, the first of the 10 drivers, a 111.9 for Alex Albon. Carlos Sainz, a 121. That is not representative, of course. He's going to be going for an actual hot lap now. Hamilton, a 110.9 from him. A very quick lap indeed, but not that quick. Leclerc coming over the radio saying, I don't know what he said, actually. Never mind. It just disappeared off the screen as soon as I looked at it. Ooh, Sainz, yeah, I mean, Sainz has got his lap time deleted, but that doesn't matter because it was a slow lap anyway. All right, George Russell up into... Oh my God, look at that. Charles Leclerc, a 110.4. That is brilliant. Oh my God, that is seriously quick. They're 3/10 ahead of his previous attempt, and I think a 110.7 in Q2. And Piastri has matched that. Lando Norris a 110.9. He's half a second off the pace compared to his teammate. But Piastri and Leclerc, both of them, a 110.4. Now it's time and wait and see what Max Verstappen can do. He's already done a cool-down lap. This is Max Verstappen's hot lap, and he is pushing like he's never pushed before. He's going to have Piastri ahead of him for a little bit of traffic, but now as he goes downhill towards the hairpin, going all the way to the edge of the circuit, hitting that apex nicely, and very, very smoothly onto the power coming out of Portier. Through the tunnel now he goes. Piastri gets out of the way, does not want to be giving his fellow rival a tow through the tunnel. Verstappen's first sector is purple. He now heads towards a Nouvelle chicane, getting the apex very, very nicely. And now onto the power smoothly he goes through turn number 12. And he's green in the middle sector, not the fastest out of everyone. And now through the final swimming pool chicane. What can he do? Here he goes then. Yeah, here it comes. Will it be a 9th consecutive pole for Max Verstappen? He comes out of the final corner. It's only 3rd place for Max, and he's a 10th and a half behind Charles Leclerc. That would be, if he gets pole on this occasion, that would be 9 consecutive poles there for Max Verstappen, which is a record, but he came close, but not close enough. It is 3rd place there for Max, and don't know what's happened there. Also, Christian Horner with a bit of a puzzled look staring at the data, but Yeah, Verstappen, I mean, he's going to come into the pits, put on a fresh set of tyres and go out again, but 1.5 tenth gap between himself and Charles Leclerc. If Leclerc wants pole position, all he's got to do is go out onto the track and have a crash. You know, not a big crash or anything, just break his front wing and make sure no one else can do a lap. That would be ideal, wouldn't it? For Charles Leclerc. Who knows? Who knows what happens? Why isn't Sonoda on a fresh set? Why on used? Sonoda is on a used set of tyres because I guess they weren't expecting to make it through into Q3. That's usually, if you see anyone in Q3 using a used set of tyres, like Gasly, they weren't expecting to make it through. And to be fair, I don't think anyone was really. But the Alpine's significantly quicker than they would have expected at the streets of Monaco. And that's why they are out on a used set, because they just thought that they weren't going to make it through. Can anyone tell what happened to Alonso? Yeah, just not quick, really. I maybe he'll say that he's got some traffic or something, but just not a good lap. Alex Albon's on his flying lap. He is just doing the one run in Q3 on an empty circuit just for himself. And now he heads through turn number 15 and 16. Now turn number 19, Raskas corner. What can he do? A nice exit out there. A little bit of squirming under the power. And the DRS is wide open, and it's 7th place there for Alex Albon. We have got 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining till we get the final runs of Q3. Everyone going to be waiting out to go as late as possible. In fact, apparently not. Carlos Sainz going out as early as possible. With 4 minutes left on the clock, and we've got Max Verstappen's engineer as well, right? Max Verstappen's coming out early. They don't want a yellow flag or a red flag or something like that ruining their laps and their chances of getting pole position. The Merc's coming out early as well. We haven't seen this happen in a while. All of the teams coming out as early as possible. Usually it's as late as possible. But maybe they're doing a double warm-up lap. That might be what's going on here. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay, here we go then. 3 minutes 20 remain, and let's wait and see what happens. Verstappen saying, I don't have a lot of grip in turn number 6. Yeah, turn number 6, which corner is that? That is the hairpin. The slowest speed corner in the entire Formula 1 calendar. Verstappen saying he's lacking on grip a little bit. And to be fair, if you looked at the analysis of the practice data, the Red Bulls were significantly slower in the slow speed corners compared to the Ferraris, which is not ideal to say the least. All right. We've got Carlos Sainz starting a lap. By the looks of it, it is going to be a warm-up lap. Not going to be too big of an issue there for him. But with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, everyone except for Alex Albon is out onto the circuit. All right. All right, yeah, everyone just getting their driving around, getting their tires and brakes into the correct zone. Hamilton is pushing. Hamilton's not doing a prep lap. So this is going to be Hamilton's final run. He's improves in the first sector, and he makes his way through, exits Portier now, hits that apex nicely, and comes onto power very, very early compared to everyone else by the looks of it. Changes his brake bias setting as he goes through the tunnel, and now heading towards the Nouvelle chicane. Hits that so close to the wall there, and nicely done from Lewis Hamilton. Just tap of the brakes as he goes through turn number 12, flat out through turn number 13 and 14. It is absolutely crazy to see the speed there. George Russell's purple through the first sector. Wow. He's quicker than Leclerc through the first sector. That is some serious pace from Russell, and Russell loses out a bit in the middle sector, but Hamilton across the line, 4th place for him. George Russell, what can he do? Verstappen, he's starting his flying lap, but George Russell out of the final corner gets a good exit as well. DRS wide open across the line. 3rd place it is for George Russell, and now we've got the final couple of runs coming in. Charles Leclerc, he's a green in the first sector. Through the second sector he goes. What is it going to be? It's going to be another improvement for Charles Leclerc in the second sector. He's going to have a little bit of traffic. Maybe Pierre Gasly. Does he get out of the way nicely? Yes, he does. So Tsunoda across the line, that is 7th position for him. Charles Leclerc currently on provisional pole, and he comes across the line. He improves by 1/10 of a second. A great improvement there from Charles Leclerc, but it's not over yet. What can Oscar Piastri do? Piastri's across the line. He does not improve. And then we have got, he improves, but by a very small margin. And now we have Carlos Sainz. He is improved in the first sector, improved in the second sector, and he comes across the line. 3rd place for Carlos Sainz. We've now got Lando Norris. He's currently in 8th position. He's had 2 sectors where he's improved. It is 1, 2, 3, 4 McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari, McLaren. What can Max Verstappen do now? He is the final driver yet to finish his qualifying run. He comes out of and Verstappen's hit the wall. Verstappen has hit the wall and he's driving around slowly. Verstappen's in 6th place. Charles Leclerc has got pole position at his home Grand Prix. What a lap. And he's 1.5 tenths quicker than Oscar Piastri, a quarter of a second ahead of his teammate. And Max Verstappen is nowhere to be seen. Oh my God, what a qualifying session it has been. Verstappen starting in 6th. There's another chance that Verstappen does not win this race tomorrow, sorry. But wow. Yeah, Verstappen hit the wall and he abandoned his lap because, there was no point in pushing any harder. Wow. Charles Leclerc on pole position at his home Grand Prix. And I'm not going to jinx anything, but just according to the stats, 76% of the time, if you start on pole position in Monaco, there is a 76% chance that you end up winning this race. So who knows? Who knows what will happen? But the McLarens, wow, they are seriously rapid. And just a quick replay on what happened to Max Verstappen. He goes into turn number 1 and he brakes and he locks the rear a little bit. He locks the rear when he turns in and he hits the wall and he says the car is slippery. And that's it. His lap is abandoned and his hopes of getting 9 pole positions in a row have been thrown out of the window. Wow. All right, so that has been qualifying. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. We've got 7,000 people that have tuned in. Be sure to hit the like button. If you can hit 1,000 likes, that would be fantastic. I will be commentating for tomorrow's Grand Prix. So if you have enjoyed today's coverage, then I will be commentating for that as well. And there isn't much else for me to say, to be honest. It has been a pleasure commentating to you folks. And thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I'm going to end this stream. It'll take you over to tomorrow's stream. Just go ahead and press the reminder button and make sure to tune in for the race tomorrow. Because we're going to have an exciting one on our hands. Max Verstappen starting in 6th. Will he be able to make his way through the pack? Will Leclerc be able to hang on? Is Piastri going to get the lead into turn number 1? Who knows? But once again, folks, thank you for tuning in. And I will see you in... there was radio from Verstappen. He was just like, I've messed it up. And I'm in the wall. Well, I've hit the wall, sorry. The car is very slippery, so that's basically what he said. But yeah, so I will see you tomorrow, folks. Thank you for tuning in, and cheers, fellas.